Hello there, well it's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee, and today we're going to make a tablet sleeping bag. Now this tablet has already got its case on and yeah, it's all ready to go, except for it would be nice to have a sleeping bag. Now what I've got is 2 layers of fleece here. I've got the right side to the right side before I'm cutting, so just to make life a little bit easier for me. And what I want to do is I want to make one panel, and then I want to make another panel, but I want the second panel to be slightly longer. Okay, so the first job is, now I'm finding fleece really hard to cut today, so these scissors are really sharp. They're my crafting scissors, so you know, I don't see why I'm having such problems, but you have to forgive me, and well, I just have to make do, don't I, really? It's my own problem. I also need a little strap for the envelope of the sleeping bag, as it were. Right, I'm going to get that out of the way, because I know what size it is. It's just bigger than one panel, or 2 panels, so, of the pattern. But this is going on the inside, which it does seem a bit of a shame, because it is quite cute. If I just get rid of all this excess, I'll be well away. Okay, so what I'm doing is I've cut the extra and I'm continuing to cut along that line, and then when I get to the end I'm going to cut off that extra and use that as my strap. So okay, so, and I'm being careful not to cut the table lining as well. I'm making a right hash of this, aren't I? But we can soon get on with our sewing. So, what I'm left with is 2 squares. Okay, that's for my strap, and then these are for the main body. Now, because we've taken the time to cut it the right way round, all we have to do is we have to mark out on here how far we want the curb to go down. I'm just going to mark that like that. I'm going to get rid of all this excess material. I'm sitting here going, oh, it's quite warm in here today. It's because I'm buried under 3 meters of fleece. Okay, so a nice small stitch and a couple of reverse stitches so that it's the same height that we're starting, and then we're curving round. I am going to get rid of these corners. I'm going to trim them off, but because of yeah, just because. And the other one, I'm just going to go straight across the top. I'm going to leave that a nice flat surface. So reverse stitch off the first one, and then I can just sew straight onto this second one. Couple of reverse stitches. It's going to be a seam that has a lot of wear, so nice small stitches, and this is a stretch fabric as well. So what I don't want is for to be able to pull it apart. So I'm using a nice strong thread as well. Now, for the strap that holds the envelope lid in, I'm going to sew down one side, and I'm just using 1/4 inch hem. I'm not using much at all. And I think if you're not happy using that much, what you could do is you could sew 1/2 inch hem and then trim it. Now, because of the way the sewing machines work, this coloured one is slightly longer than the navy one. So all I'm doing is sewing on the coloured bit there. You could take it out of the sewing machine and start sewing again, but if you sew right across the top then, we're going to get quite a lumpy seam. So again, a couple of reverse stitches. We want it nice and strong. Let's get rid of that and let's pull the thread through so we don't unthread it. There we are. And I can trim all these bits off. Okay, turning this inside out should be easy because it's a stretch fabric and it's not going to fray. That's the best thing about fleece. So I folded the top over. I'm going to get the soft end of a pencil and then just push it through, and you can see it goes through no problem at all. And if I had sewn up the two ends there, I would have quite a nasty clump, and I really don't want that. Alright, so I've got my other bits. Now, when you're sewing things like this, half the problem is the construction of it. So, there's my small side. Here's my larger side, and I'm going to pop out those corners because I did them as a sort of soft roll. And I need to decide whether I want the pattern on the inside or the outside. Now, I quite like the pattern. I think it's quite funky. So, if I want the pattern on the outside, then I'm going to need to place it inside out. This is because I want to do the turning around seam on the blue. It does make sense to me. So we've got them the right way round, but we've got the blue one facing out. I'm going to need to stitch in this strap to hold the envelope over. So I'm going to need to place it on the outside, and I want the blue side facing so that it's nice and contrasted. So that's now all in position. But to get it so that the seams are on the inside rather than just on the inside but all tucked in neatly, I'm then going to pull the bottom layer over. Now, if I then line up my cut seams there where I sewed first of all, and I want this quite close to the top, so I'm going to put that there. And then the other side I need to make sure. But I need to make sure that these four seams and that strap are quite nice and neat. Okay, so what am I sewing through now? Haha, let's have a little think. I could even count them for you. I've got the 4 layers of the main body, plus the seams, plus the 2 layers of the strap and their seams. But fleece is like sewing butter, it really is. It doesn't mind at all, so it does mind when you do that, but then I'll just change my needle quickly. Did I break the needle? I did.